Now tell me who wanna fuck with us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I bang and let your brains.
Shyne was a rapper with a very promising career, which would quickly come to a halt as soon as he got recognition. It all started in the late 90s with a freestyle session in a barbershop. When legendary hip-hop producer DJ Clark Kent heard Shyne freestyling, he was blown away by his performance, which led to him being introduced to several record labels. A multitude of people wanted to sign the skillful MC, but Shyne will make the decision to work alongside Sean P. Diddy Combs. P. Diddy offered Shyne a 5-album contract with his record label Bad Boy Entertainment. P. Diddy definitely believed in the MC, as it was reported that Shyne received millions of dollars, multiple vehicles, and 2 brand new houses. Shyne did not take this opportunity lightly, as he started to work on his self-titled debut album. Just as Shyne was about to release his album, he got caught up in some drama, which would eventually lead to him spending 9 years in prison. It all started with the controversy of his rap style, which didn't sit well with the people of his hometown, which is Brooklyn, New York. Shyne's style was very similar to the rapper the Notorious B.I.G. Members of Junior Mafia didn't like the fact that he sounded like their fallen friend. In 1999, Shyne was finishing up a studio session. While leaving the studio, he was shot at by affiliates of Junior Mafia. This experience made him want to carry a gun with him wherever he went, as he didn't want to be caught without a weapon anymore, as his life was on the line. Later that same year, Shyne went to a nightclub with P. Diddy and singer Jennifer Lopez, who was Diddy's girlfriend at the time. An argument between Diddy and a man named Matthew Allen led to guns being drawn and shots being fired. Witnesses of the shooting testified that Shyne was one of the shooters, which led to 3 partygoers being injured. This is what led to Shyne receiving 10 years in prison, which also came with a lot of controversy, as a lot of people feel like Shyne took the fall for Diddy in this situation. While Shyne was incarcerated, he parted ways with Bad Boy Records, which led to a lot of labels wanting to sign him. The most notable labels were 50 Cent's G-Unit, Irv Gotti's Murder Inc. Records, and Jay Prince's Rap-A-Lot Records. Shyne would turn all 3 of these offers down, and chose to partner with Def Jam Records for a $3 million contract. But what Shyne didn't realize is that this decision would lead to a beef that he didn't see coming. Now, we should all know that if 50 Cent gets word that you're friends with his enemies, he's going to treat you the same way he treats them. This is noticeable in today's day with Big Meech, who is someone 50 supported and put a lot of funding into. When Big Meech linked up with 50 Cent's opposition, he instantly cut him off, which is something he's done time and time again. While in the midst of trying to sign Shyne to G-Unit, 50 Cent got word that he was close to Irv Gotti. Shyne's relationship with Irv Gotti stems back to him rapping in barbershops. This led to him having various conversations with the hip-hop mogul. Irv Gotti was an avid supporter of Shyne, which in return led to Shyne being loyal to him. This is what ultimately led to Shyne declining 50's offer to sign with G-Unit, as Shyne found out that 50 may have been involved in putting out a protection order against Irv Gotti and members of Murder Inc. Shyne knew that he couldn't associate himself with someone who's classified as a snitch. When 50 Cent got word of this, he would go on to diss Shyne on Hot 97. 50 calls out Irv Gotti as well. 50 Cent didn't appreciate Shyne for entertaining Irv Gotti in any shape or form. By Shyne doing this action, 50 Cent called him soft and said that he'll never shoot up the club again.
I heard Irv trying to shine, so I ain't got no love for him. Tell him 50 said he's soft, he won't shoot up the club again.
Shyne didn't take this lightly, and he'll diss 50 Cent on his second studio album, Godfather Buried Alive. This album consisted of previously recorded verses for 12 songs, with one of the songs being recorded over the phone while Shyne was incarcerated. This song would be the diss track he released that 50 Cent called For the Record, which is honestly not a bad diss track. Even with the technicality of Shyne not being able to record this track professionally, he still did an incredible job dissing 50 Cent, as his lyrics and delivery are top notch. Shyne recording this diss track over a prison phone definitely adds appeal to it. There's a high level of realness to this track, as Shyne really lives what he's rapping about. He's someone who's locked up and has street cred, so much to the point where even 50 Cent recognized this, which led to him trying to sign him. Shyne did an incredible job painting 50's character in a negative light. He talks about how 50 really isn't gangster, as it's all a facade. Shyne brings up the fact that no one can vouch for 50 Cent's so-called gangster activities, as he's known to not retaliate on his opposition. Shyne highlights the time when 50 Cent was shot 9 times by a man named Daryl Homo Baum, who was murdered right after shooting 50 Cent. Allegedly, 50 had nothing to do with the murder, as Daryl Baum already had issues in the streets. Shyne also brings up the fact that 50 Cent knows who sent the hit on him to be shot, and said that he never did anything about it.
You ain't kill Homo, cause if you did, why you ain't get the kids that ordered the hit?
Shyne basically says 50 Cent has no right to diss him as he doesn't know him. 50 also doesn't have the same street credibility as he does. Shyne also states that 50 may be a snitch, as there are questionable documents of 50 filing restraining orders on members of Murder Inc.
Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe he just snitched. See it a whole lot different from my cell and clean.
Like I said before, Shyne did a great job delivering his lyrics on this track, but the downfall for me is definitely the low quality of his vocals. At certain moments it's hard to understand what he's saying, which led to me having to look the lyrics up for myself. I know that he was limited to resources by being in prison, but this affected his vocal quality in a major way. The instrumental is incredible, as it has a sinister feel to it, due to it sampling the classic song from Mystical called Here I Go. This was a great production choice, and Shyne doesn't do a bad job delivering his verses.
You don't wanna ride, you wanna get rich and hide. These niggas would've died if they shot me 9 times.
The last notable thing that came from this beef was 50 Cent replying to Shyne's diss track on his song Piggy Bank, which appeared on his second album, The Massacre. 50's bars to Shyne on this song are really good. It has a really dark nature to it, as 50 states that he can have Shyne stabbed in jail with a few dollars out of his bank account.
Shyne popping off his mouth from himself. Can have a nigga run up on him with his shank for just a few pennies out my piggy bank.
He also calls Shyne a punk for being in PC, which is an area in jail that protects inmates from other inmates. The prisoner usually chooses to be in this area, which 50 looks at it as Shyne being a punk.
He don't want it with me, he in DC.
Thankfully, this is where the beef ended, as there wasn't any real issue between 50 Cent and Shyne. The only thing was that 50 didn't like the fact that Shyne was somewhat affiliated with Irv Gotti. 50 also didn't like the fact that Shyne didn't accept his offer, which ultimately led to him dissing him. But just as I said before, 50 is known for doing this, as there are numerous examples of him going after people simply by them being friends with his enemies. After Shyne did his time in prison, he went on to do a lot of incredible things in the realm of positivity. There are many things to note, but that would make this video longer than it needs to be, as the focus is obscure diss tracks. And if you ask me, Shyne has a pretty good one.
Time to step out on the scene, raise some hell. Rock as a bicycle, so can't you tell?
Now the funny thing about this entry is that I remember the diss track war between Haystack, Bazaar, and King Gordy back in the year 2009, but I never paid attention to it. I never knew who Haystack was, or why he had such an issue with Eminem and his camp. Now in 2025, I decided to do research on this battle, and I wasn't able to find much. For those of you that don't know, Haystack is a highly successful underground artist. He made a name for himself in his hometown Nashville, Tennessee, and he's highly respected in that area. He also has millions upon millions of views on his songs, with the highest being a track called All By Myself, which sits at 50 million plays. He's been rapping since the late 90s, and he's definitely not a slouch when it comes to his craft. The songs that I heard from Haystack are really good, and I understand why he's regarded so much in the underground scene. Sometime during the late 2000s, Haystack decided to go after Eminem as he felt as though he's the best white rapper. Not only did Haystack think that he can rap better than Eminem, he also believed that his credentials were more legitimate, as he didn't have the mainstream backing him up. Before I get into the details of this obscure beef, I must note that Eminem didn't blatantly respond to Haystack, but there are examples of Eminem throwing shots at the rapper. According to Haystack, this all started when someone uploaded one of his songs called I Am That White Boy to a YouTube channel. In the song, Haystack goes after Eminem and calls him out in order to battle him. The title of the video is what got the attention of many people online, as it read, Eminem gunned down by independent kingpin Haystack, diss song 2009. Now there's something incredibly fishy about this in my opinion, as Haystack will say in an interview that he had no idea that this person was going to upload this song to YouTube with that title. While he's explaining this to the people interviewing him, he slips up and states that the person uploaded a snippet of his last verse in the YouTube video, which wasn't the case.
Some renegade juggalo posted the last part of a verse about Eminem in the chorus. They posted it on YouTube. The title said Independent Kingpin Haystack guns down Eminem.
Another thing Haystack did in this interview was state that he didn't have an issue with Eminem and that this all caught him by surprise.
I'm like, whoa, I haven't done anything to this man deliberately. I haven't said anything. I was just rapping. I'm
going to call BS on this because I don't think he would have gone out his way to diss Eminem to not get a reaction. I believe that he uploaded the track himself, or somebody he knew uploaded the song which he had knowledge of. I could be wrong about this, but this is just how I honestly feel about his explanation of the track being uploaded to YouTube. YouTube. When this song got uploaded to YouTube with that interesting title, it caught the attention of publications in the local Nashville area, which led to it being talked about on blogs and other media outlets. This made Haystack's diss track go even more viral, as it reached mainstream publications as well. Since Haystack wasn't just a nobody, his diss track started to ring serious bells online and caught the attention of many people. His diss track got noticed so much that it led to Eminem's affiliates learning about it. Two main corporates from Eminem's camp that were aware of Haystack's diss track was Bizarre and King Gordy. They would respond to Haystack with the mindset of them showcasing their loyalty to Eminem. Bizarre and King Gordy also knew that Eminem wasn't going to respond to Haystack, as he was nowhere on Eminem's level. So this led to King Gordy and Bizarre taking it upon themselves to entertain Haystack in order to shut him up about Eminem. One interesting thing about this is that I couldn't find a diss track that involves Haystack dissing Bizarre and King Gordy. Haystack went about handling Bizarre and King Gordy the same way they thought that they had to handle him, which is to have them do Eminem's dirty work. This led to Haystack getting one of his rap buddies to deal with King Gordy and Bizarre. The artist in question's name is Bravo Gator, and he'd do exactly that, as he dropped what I believe a few diss tracks to King Gordy and Bizarre. This is the only information that I can find about how this beef started. There are several diss tracks online, and I don't know the correlation between any of them except for maybe a few. These are the diss tracks I'm going to discuss and share my thoughts on. The first diss track I stumbled upon comes from Haystack called Underdog. This is a pretty good diss track, as it's a great display of flow and good lyrics. Haystack's style is quite infectious due to the southern draw in his voice and his ability to flow on the sinister instrumental. One thing I really like about this track is how Haystack went about it with the concept. Haystack is aware that he's the underdog in this situation, as Eminem is a mega star. This leads to people counting him out, as they believe he doesn't have a chance against the industry titan. This actually gives Haystack the fuel he needs in order to go into the battle, as is his mission to prove these individuals wrong. Another thing that Haystack harks on is the fact that he's an independent artist, and he doesn't need the mainstream to boost his career, unlike Eminem. He states that he's in control of his creativity, and there are no limits to the type of music he can put out.
I'm the underdog, nobody believes in me but me, and that fuel is the energy I need to at least convince myself, and I'll show everybody else that you don't bet against the underdog.
Another thing I like about Haystack's style on this track is the fact that he's animated in his delivery. This is noticeable throughout, but my favorite part is in the beginning of the first verse, as he introduces himself and Eminem, as if they were in a boxing match. It's hilarious when he describes Eminem as he states that he's the size of a left nut, and he also refers to him as Blondie.
In this corner with that same look on his face, he's been practicing in the mirror every day since he was 8, fighting out of Detroit, weighing in as much as my left nut, Blondie, fighting out of Tennessee, weighing 323, it's Mr. CWB, Glassfield's in the house, so is Motown, Vegas say I won't make it for round, I'm the underdog.
Just as I said before, his performance on this song is really good due to his overall style. The sinister instrumental fits the content in his lyrics exceptionally well, making this a really good diss track in my opinion. The second track is called I Am That White Boy, which comes from the infamous YouTube video Eminem Gunned Down by Independent Kingpin Haystack Diss Song 2009. This is another great diss track from Haystack. It honestly took me a few listens to understand everything that's going on, as this is my first time listening to him. At first I was a bit thrown off by the instrumental, as it has a generic feel to it, but there are elements in the beat that make it catchy. The catchy elements of the instrumental combined with Haystack's unique southern style is a great combination.
Eminem isn't shady, maybe you should think carefully about what you're gonna say if you do decide to play with the
Haystack continues to do a great job dissing Eminem, and it seems like a fair challenge in my opinion. Haystack is no rookie when it comes to punchlines, and his delivery is really good. One thing that I noticed about this track is that Haystack seems to be disappointed in Eminem due to the direction he's going with his music. Haystack feels as though Eminem isn't passionate about his craft anymore, due to his creative decisions to lean towards the mainstream and pop genre within the industry.
You know Lil Wayne got product like Chronic, you walk in the spot and cop it whenever you want it.
Haystack continues to state that he's the underdog in this situation, and he's willing to go all out in a diss track war with Eminem. If I'm being honest, I feel like if Eminem were to engage with Haystack, he would absolutely kill him. But I will also say that I think that Haystack is a worthy opponent. They always say don't count the underdog out, and we would have never known what Haystack could have had up his sleeve. Y'all got to remember that people are not prone to being defeated, even if they appear to be the bigger and better artist. Haystack's definitely not a slouch when it comes to making these tracks, as you can hear how experienced he is by the way he recites his lyrics on this track.
You're made up, oversaturated gimmick. Would've never been nothing without Jimmy.
Now let's talk about Bizarre and King Gordy's response to Haystack.
Fuck Haystack. That's how we ride, you know what I'm saying? And you saying shit like, you know what I'm saying? You saying shit like, why Marshall ain't came back in 4 years? And, you know, what is he doing? Why do you care about what he's doing? That's my whole thing. Real to real, first person. Now this real talk. This ain't no blog shit, whatever. Why do you care about what another grown ass man is doing?
Right.
So what if he ain't rapped in 4 years? So what if he ain't came out? What it got to do with you?
He said, when are you gonna come out with anything hot?
Right.
When are you gonna actually put out a record and people saying this is dope? You're terrible, man. You will never be where Marshall is, man. All you will do is sit in that closet with that chair and do blogs about people that you will never be sweeter than. Because that's what it's about to me. I'm an MC. You aren't even on the radar on some rap shit. You're terrible. That's why I'm upset.
You talking about beefing, man. Stop talking about you beefing with some motherfuckers that live 13 hours away from you.
Right, and you're on the internet, man. Come on, man. You
live in Nashville, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? We live in Detroit, Michigan. So what's the chance of us seeing each other? You see what I'm saying? I mean, you gonna get us mad enough, but we just gonna come to your show.
And beat your ass.
You know what I'm saying?
On some real Detroit ghetto shit.
You know what I'm saying? But that ain't beefing. We from... Beefing is when motherfucker live around a block from you.
Their diss track doesn't have an official title to my knowledge, but I believe it's called Hey Haystack, due to King Gordy reciting that on the chorus. This track is hilarious and insane. Bizarre and King Gordy definitely responded to Haystack in a major way, as they go all out when it comes to dissing him. I like the fact that Bizarre and King Gordy showcase their loyalty to Eminem, as they know that he isn't going to respond to Haystack, as he isn't on the same level as he is when it comes to popularity and success. This leads to Eminem's lower level homies doing their job and handling an artist for him that isn't mainstream. This track has so many funny moments, starting with Bizarre on the first verse. You can definitely hear the anger in Bizarre's voice, as he seems frustrated with Haystack. His style is animated and unorthodox, which works exceptionally well on this track. There is a moment where Bizarre states that Haystack raps off beat, but before he makes this statement, he literally raps off beat.
You a fake Bubba Sparks that can't stay on beat. No fly zone, action Capone. We the reason why you forced to make it home. Come to Detroit talking shit, you always talking about pits.
I don't know if he did that intentionally or not, but it's definitely a highlight. Bizarre also did a great job with his lyrics, as they're absolutely hilarious. One of my favorite lines is when Bizarre says he's going to come to Haystack's hometown, which is Nashville, Tennessee, and approach him with guns. Haystack probably doesn't even want to get into a shootout, as he's too country to understand what's going on. Bizarre then states that Haystack probably wants to get naked and mud wrestle instead, which leads to him hilariously mocking Haystack's accent.
We'll come to Nashville and fuck up the world. And when I see you, I'ma send them slugs. You probably wanna get naked and wrestle in the mud. Be my homeboy and smoke a little bud. Drink some Jägermeisters and get fucked.
King Gordy went absolutely nuts on this song. His animated delivery is amazing, and he also has a ton of energy. His lyrics are insane, and definitely not for the faint of heart. He said a ton of things that I thought were hilarious as well. One is definitely when he says that Haystack wishes that Eminem was his father that molested him, and he prays that he has Eminem's baby.
You really want Marshall to be your father who molested you, wanna slap Marshall's knob. I bet you wish you could get pregnant, hoping Marshall's the pop.
But that isn't even the most insane thing King Gordy says in his verse. Another highlight is when he says that Haystack wishes that he was Bubba Sparks' girlfriend's assistant, so that he can assist Bubba Sparks ejaculate in his girlfriend's mouth, in order to pull out Bubba Sparks' rod while this is happening, in order to get some as well. I can't believe I just said that craziness.
Wishing that he was Bubba Sparks' girlfriend's assistant, so he can assist in putting Bubba's in her mouth, then take it out, and when he's put it in his, you
But the wildest thing King Gordy says on this track is when he constantly states that he wants to sexually assault Haystack's wife and young daughter. One thing about King Gordy is that he's known to have extremely vile lyrics, and he definitely delivers on this diss track. Another wild thing that was said on this track is when Bizarre ends the song with a monologue. I agree with the fact that he and King Gordy are handling Haystack, as Eminem has bigger things to worry about. As Bizarre is saying this, he states that Eminem has bigger and better people to diss, and the example he gives is Mariah Carey.
Don't worry about Marshall responding. He's too busy dissing real motherfuckers like Mariah Carey.
Hearing that is just absolutely lame, as Mariah Carey's not even in the same genre as Eminem. I thought that rappers were supposed to go at rappers, not pop stars, but we all know that Eminem is always an exception to the rule. But other than that, this is definitely a great diss track, as it's a full-out assault on Haystack to the highest degree. But if you ask me, the best diss track in this saga is definitely F You by Brabo Gator. Just as I mentioned before, Brabo Gator responded to Bizarre and King Gordy on the behalf of Haystack. With that being said, Brabo Gator's diss track is absolutely amazing. I like the fact that Haystack did the same thing Bizarre and King Gordy did, which was to have his homie handle his lightweights. This references the fact that Bizarre and King Gordy see Haystack as someone who isn't relevant enough for Eminem to diss. Haystack feels the same way about King Gordy and Bizarre, which leads to him sending his homie Brabo Gator to deal with them. Brabo Gator went absolutely ham on Bizarre and King Gordy. His rebuttals are amazing, as he references all of the things that Bizarre and King Gordy said in their diss track about Haystack. He starts off this track with the bang by disrespecting the late great Proof, who was a member of D12.
Haystack was you too. If Proof was alive, it'd be him too.
The reason he did this was because Bizarre and King Gordy disrespected Haystack's wife and daughter, so he returned the favor by pulling at their heartstrings, just as they did with Haystack. When I say that Brabo Gator killed Bizarre and King Gordy on this track, I'm not lying. Bizarre got it the worst, as he did a fantastic job proving his case of Bizarre being corny. His fat jokes on Bizarre and King Gordy are absolutely hilarious, and he does it in a skillful way through metaphors and punchlines. My favorite line Brabo said about Bizarre is that the only thing that's bizarre is that his real name is Rufus.
You sound foolish. The only thing bizarre is that your real name's Rufus.
That killed me the first time I heard it. When it comes to King Gordy, Brabo went ham on him too. He makes fun of the fact that King Gordy has to be over the top in his lyrics, as no one will pay attention to them if he presented himself as someone with a sane mind. He also addresses King Gordy disrespecting Haystack's wife and daughter. He states that this is another way that he can appeal to a particular audience, as he only has the ability to provide shock value lyrics. Another thing Brabo did that was absolutely incredible during his segment of dissing King Gordy is mimic his rap style. He nailed King Gordy's impressions to the T, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Devil horn braids, how can one look stupider? I bet you drop alumina, your money ain't right. Jimmy never signed you cause your image too tight. A lyricist you never been, your disc verse irrelevant. Apologize, Stack, you should never diss a veteran. See you were meddling, trying to defend ill. Well, I fuck with Haystack, so I'ma defend him. Fuck your brands, fuck your lane, fuck your whole damn crew. And now I'ma rap like you. I'm King Gordy, the mimic of E40. I ride bizarre shit cause Eminem just ignores me. Maiden ain't porky, my waistline's lost. My diss songs involve taking pit bulls off. I'm lost, I rap about a battle rapper until a battle rapper hurts my feelings. King Gordy is in the building, but he will not be performing. I'm panicked, I'm scared, there's crowds out there.
Brabo Gator highly impressed me on this song, as he has multiple elements to his style, and his lyricism is top notch. This is honestly one of the best diss track rebuttals I've heard, as Brabo Gator did a fantastic job refuting everything Bizarre and King Gordy said in their diss track. He definitely did Haystack justice, as his performance on this track is incredible. I'm sure this isn't where the beef ended, as there are several more diss tracks, but with very little context. I will try my best to discuss the rest of the diss tracks in this saga. I think this beef ended by simply just fading out, as there were no real altercations to my knowledge. This is a good thing, as it got really disrespectful on both sides. But with that being said, the songs themselves are really good, as they did a great job dissing each other. Haystack also did a good job for trying to compete with Eminem, although he didn't outright respond to him. I believe Haystack was a worthy opponent, and it would have been great to see a back and forth between the two.